Okay, cool.
Okay, so hi folks, welcome to Hyperspace D6 and Star Wars Saturday, the matinee edition. I am not Rich Rogers. I do have a beard, and you may see me in Rich Rogers Star Wars videos for this time slot later on. But I am running Hyperspace D6 as well on the gauntlet this month. I'm joined by three brave scoundrels. Who in our last episode stole a strange artifact from a room that reeked of the dark side on the large cargo ship, the Blue Sun. We are playing with safety tools. We have set up lines and veils. We've refreshed those in our mind. We've done a little bit of character advancements if those people want to spend their character points. And we are now really ready to go. And we are picking up back on the stacked deck, which had made its jump into hyperspace and almost got away scot-free. Almost. But something spotted it. I guess we'll figure out what as the adventures unfold. So, where do we find Quake on board the ship? Sabine?
I think he might have gone up to Yuno because she's piloting, right? And while he's not very good at small talking, he kind of wants to say hi and maybe get her to tell him more of her stories that she has.
She is flat asleep,
Oh, wow.
snoring really loudly.
Oh, wow.
On the cockpit seat. I think when you kind of go up, she goes, oh, I knew I forgot to do something. Hey, Quake. And then she's kind of like, pulls a lever and actually goes into hyperspace because we should have done that 10 minutes ago.
Didn't mean to wake you. Sorry.
No, it's good. It's actually I'm kind of glad you woke me up. Would not have wanted to be caught out in space like that.
Well, I'm sure you got out of many a scuffle. No?
Yeah. Well, some of them can be classified as a scuffle. Other times they can be qualified as a kerfuffle. And other times they can be a mere trifle. I'd rate this at squaffle. Squaffle? No.
Ruffle. Not squaffle, I think.
Yeah, that's the sleep getting to me.
Oh, well.
Are you hungry?
Not particularly, but I could eat.
Sure. And it's like kind of like digging around her compartments and kind of starts tossing like I don't know, some chocolate bars, a chocolate bar in your direction.
I'm catching them, and I will start to. I'll put them down. I'll eat something because soldiers. You eat when you get something, basically.
I always found that after a gig, I get just really hungry. You just expend so much energy,
Yeah, I know. It was a bit of exciting. It was a bit exciting, right?
Yeah, it was exciting. Well, like I said, there's like this is a scuffle quality kind of gig. The kerfuffle would have been a bit higher.
Okay.
Could have gone worse, but
That's true.
No, you and Kat were, it was textbook. They didn't even know we were there, except for the explosion.
Yeah, well, I still thought it was a nice kind of distraction. And they know that we were there. I think they would have figured out that someone was there because we took stuff. So
that's true. But you ever get to a point where something's so heavily guarded that like you just kind of like forget that it's there? I was kind of hoping that would happen,
Yeah, maybe they don't know yet what we were after.
Well, they'll find out soon enough. And then we'll have to deal with that.
Well, there's always the rebellion. Maybe they'll go and make some trouble for them, and then they forget about us. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, maybe. Depends if the rebellion's big enough to be trouble for them. They're the Empire, They at some point they're spreading around the galaxy, and rebellion is just going to be, on a list of troubles.
I don't know. Empire isn't that old yet. It's not eternal. It's not like it's been there forever. It rose pretty quickly, but might fall.
Now I'm trying to think, like, what would Yuno's age be? Because she obviously was alive when the Republic was around.
Mm-hmm.
True, I guess. But then again, they've got examples to look at. Republic lasted for God knows how many years, centuries, millennia even, and that went. And the Empire's learned a lesson from that.
I think the Empire pretty much made the fall of the Republic. They created the whole situation.
Yeah.
Well, not everything, but
Probably. I don't know. I'm not. No, I was like, what? Sorry, no, I can't. I'm trying to think of the timeline now. That this is breaking my head.
yeah.
Let's see. Will be 20. I'm imagining her as like 24-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So if Cassian Andor is around, then this would be at least right before Rogue One, which would be 19 years.
Mm-hmm. So she was 5 maybe when the Clone Wars ended.
Yeah. So the final Clone Wars ended in 3 and then 2 when the Clone Wars began. Oh, this is too much Star Wars nerdery. Early in the morning.
I mean, at the end of the Clone Wars was when the Empire became a thing, and that was 19 years before A New Hope, because Luke was 19 and Luke was born on the day on that precise day. So
So would have been 2 when the Clone Wars began.
Yeah, and if we're at Solo about, then we're not quite.
Okay, not quite.
Not quite, because Han Solo was a lot younger in Solo than he was in A New Hope. Maybe we're
okay.
So let's say you were 10, maybe.
Yeah, let's say okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
I think like is it obvious? You're a clone?
I've not hidden it precisely. I've not said, "Hey, I'm a clone," but it's if you were 10 when you might have seen.
I would have known what clones were. Yeah. Hard to miss those soldiers.
Yeah.
Did you? You look like you've seen action. Did you fight in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I did from the start.
Yeah, my dad really wasn't keen on fighting in Clone Wars. He was a shipping magnate. He was all right, making ships, giving transports. The last thing he wanted was war to happen. Because will disrupt business.
Well, I was created for this war, so complicated.
Wait, you're a clone?
I'm a clone, yeah.
What's that like?
It's like anything else. It's just, I don't know. I don't know any other way. I mean, I've met people who weren't clones, obviously, but it's hard to compare.
So like with the, I think like Yuno was like sitting up now. She's a half-eaten chocolate bar. So there should be other people like you in the galaxy who look exactly like you, right?
Yeah, that's to you probably. We would look exactly alike. I mean, we could tell each other apart, obviously.
Oh. So you look exactly alike, but you're not actually alike. You're like your name. Yeah, you're Quake and all.
Yeah, you've seen twins, right?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I've seen twins. I am a twin.
Oh, okay. And do they all look exactly alike?
Well, I guess not.
See, that's the same thing here. Same thing goes for the clones. We don't look exactly alike.
I guess that makes sense. Dave, I'm glad you missed the extended 5 minutes we took to try to figure out ages and timelines.
That's all fine, all good. But you know, whilst you're doing that, I'm wondering what is Cat up to, and how is our friendly protocol droid TC-15 helping out?
Cat is exploring our fine ship, taking a look to see if there's not a hidden compartment Cat can't find to possibly stow our cargo in.
So that is that's going to be a search roll into your perception, which you already have 5 dice in. So
Yeah.
remember, one of your dice needs to be a different color, which is your destiny dice. Tell me if you're
Yeah.
a 1 or a 6.
Will do. So it is a 4 on the destiny dice, so we're good there. And a total of 20.
20 is more than enough. You find a hidden compartment which you pull open. What do they find in that hidden compartment? You know?
Yeah, I think there is like a tablet or a data pad that's been opened recently that was probably like looking at, and then she just shoved in when people were coming in. And inside also are like boxes that are kind of like what looks like gifts that she just kind of like shoved in there. And on the data pad, if you look through, you can see that like this data pad is like dedicated to tracking the exploits of a officer in the Imperial Navy by the name of Yuno Sunfell. And I think you'll notice that there's a rising up and comer who's like becoming a member of the Imperial Navy, and you can see that well, the name is a giveaway. Also, the fact that she looks exactly like Yuno is also a giveaway. And there's like a communication like feed, like the equivalent, I guess, if the messenger app was left open there, and you can see that like there are like invitations from Arya to her sister to like, hey, there's like there's like an official ceremony here. Hey, I just won another medal, that sort of thing. Well, not in those words, but like kind of like the main thing is like there's like an imperial officer that has basically a direct line of communication with this whole time.
Okay. Well, take note. Slide things back where they were.
Are you putting the?
I feel this is concealed enough for our and big enough for our package. We'll set it in there for now.
You slide it in, and it's almost you're pretty sure you almost hear whispering voices from inside it asking you to open the box and take it out.
Well, that would definitely be intriguing, yet against the rules of the guild. So
in that case, you shut it, and
yeah.
TC-15 is saying, "I do protest, Count Foyoni. This is not your ship. You should not be moving secure sealed containers made by the illustrious hero Yuno Sunfell."
I'll talk to to make sure it's okay.
Oh, please ensure that you check in advance moving forward. And it waggles its finger at you as if it's telling you off.
I've always found it easier to ask for forgiveness.
So, it goes off to tell what you have done. Which I think TC15, as you sort of drop you out of hyperspace, is wildly protesting that Cat Faroni is taking panels off willy-nilly within the ship. Who knows what they could be doing? You should jettison into space.
I think gives like Quake a look, looks by TC, and it's just, is that actually no. I think she'll give like TC a look, and it's just, was Cat doing anything you think is highly suspicious, but kind of maybe I should just talk to them. I'll consider the jettisoning, but since we're kind of like right in view of Ohms's, I think they'll take a glib view of that.
I think she's still got to pay us, right, before you jettison her.
Well, that's true. All right, we'll square up this job, and then we'll consider jettisoning them.
Oh, she's on the space station. That's a good idea.
Yeah, as you command, Mistress Sunfell. I said, I don't know why you're traveling with these people. You don't need any company other than me.
I think she'll just give them a look, just, and it's like, that remains to be seen. Pats them in the shoulder and go see Cat. I've got a very anxious protocol droid here who's concerned that you've been poking around this yacht for Lonnie.
I thought it might be good to find a place for our cargo.
Well, I like a proactive partner, but I would have thought that you could ask, the owner of the ship if there is such a compartment.
Well, it's always more fun to see what preparations you have made.
Do you find anything you consider fun?
Oh, you've got quite the family connection.
Yes, well, we all have, different fruits and different trees. It's not something I shy away from. Otherwise, I would have changed my name a long time ago. But it's not really something I want people to be advertising.
It's too bad. I think they would have very good conversation.
Well, you've never actually spoken to Arya. You'd rather be off talking to a Gundark.
Really? Yeah. Your conversation doesn't seem too bad. I'm pretty sure that your sister would probably be the same as far as having interesting conversation. They've definitely attended quite a few galas and such in their honor.
See, I just found out from our other friend that, similarities may just be skin deep. I'll just tell you, I'm the sweet one out of the two of us.
That's even more intriguing.
Well, keep your intrigues to yourself. Or about the dock. And she kind of slinks back to the cockpit just to dock the ship.
Yeah, I think you get the signal that you're about to drop out of hyperspace. and in the middle of nowhere, because your flight plans were correct, you drop out, and then there is that moment where you see the large ship that has been turned into Omze's incredible traveling starport drops out of hyperspace. One or two ships disappear and drop away from it, and then you'll give it a docking port, which will allow you to take the stack deck and dock it on one of the external dock hubs this time, and not into one of the docking ports. It says you notice a very sleek looking personal shuttle come space yacht as well, which is docked there, which you believe is probably Qi'ra's. So she is here and waiting for you. The Trilok Convara sort of opens up over comms and asks you, he said, if you come back, are you clean? Anything follow you?
Nothing behind our tail.
Says, okay. Make a dock onto ancillary dock 6C, and then ship's yours. Are we in a position where you can start clearing down your late docking fees, Sunfell?
Close to a position. Like very close. Like immediate vicinity close. Temporarily, not spatially. You know what I mean?
Said whatever gig that you did for Omze, he's getting a little tired of you not paying up. Just a friendly warning.
I'll file it with the rest of the other friendly warnings. Thanks very much.
We see the ship come along, dock, and allowing you access to Omze's starport. And if you wish to back to the bar, which is the broadside, which is probably, unless you're making other arrangements. In fact, that will probably be something I should ask specifically. Kat, what arrangements? How are you going to make contact with Qi'ra to let her know that you're back and that you have what she's looking for?
Qi'ra, being the way that they are, I'm sure already knows that we're back. But I would think that yeah, the initial contact for our arrangement would be to meet, not necessarily at the bar again, because we don't want to be seen too much together there. So maybe another sort of, not necessarily a watering hole, but a more private restaurant sort of area, possibly on the, if there is one.
Yeah, there are even within the broadside there are booths or quieter areas, or you can meet her in one of the quieter areas of the ship if you so wish to. What would be your preference? Do feel free to frame the scene.
Probably a quieter area of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we are you going alone, or are you taking the rest of the crew with you?
Well, I will definitely take Quake.
Mm-hmm.
And offer to come along if they want, or they can wait for us to come back with their payment.
Yeah, I think she's probably thinking like maybe 3 people showing up. It seems like feels showy. Especially with Quaking about. So I think Yuno's like, Yuno's gonna be like, she has other business in the starport. she'll meet up with the two of you. Like, she's quite sure that you're probably not gonna like, dine and dash on her.
Right.
Okay, so you're like on a raised gantry looking out into space. There are a few ships coming and going. You notice one in particular, which is sort of coming into one of the docking bays. It's going. You can sort of see it come drop out of hyperspace, make its final approach, and make its way through and done. But it is Qi'ra is there. She's dressed elegantly as always in a fine coat and boots and a hood up over her face, and she sort of comes and stands next to you and sort of looks out at the emptiness of the stars and space.
Looking lovely as usual.
Thank you. It's all of the rage, this cut on Alderaan this season. Still, so it's nice sometimes to have space like this, just nothing around you. It's a little backwater, this place, but it is always interesting just to disappear off the grid for a while. Were you successful?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So, did you run into any trouble?
Maybe for a second.
She doesn't turn so much, but her body language shifts, and you would spot that as the strange spy that you are says, "Oh, what did you find? What trouble?"
I think we found a little more interesting cargo than I was expecting. That's all.
So
it threw me back for a few minutes.
Quake, where are you?
That's okay.
Yeah, so Quake, where are you during this? How are you standing back? Are you keeping your eyes open? What's your
I'm standing back and keeping my eyes open. It's pretty much what I'm doing. Like I'm basically Cat's bodyguard. I'm not sitting down or anything.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like you to roll a search for me to see if you spot what.
Nice.
Search.
That's 3D.
That's under your perception,
Yep.
and your difficulty. Your difficulty here will be 10.
Okay. They're still rolling. They rolled the same thing as before. Let me just check if, it's an 8. I'd spend a character point. I mean, I've still got 2, right?
Yeah, you spend a character point for a extra dice.
Yeah, I will. Come on, baby. Yeah, it's a 3, so I've got 11. Fine.
You have the feeling that you're not alone. Something is watching you.
Can I figure out what that is that is watching us?
The 11 you sort of close through, and then you spot your corner of your eye sees Daggrin, the Ugnaughts face, just peek around the side and come back in.
Right, I forget. That was the one I forgot. Daggrin. No, okay. I will let him know that I saw him. Like just blankly stare back.
Daggrin sort of looks alarmed that you've seen him, steps back, and you're pretty sure you can hear more than just his feet behind that corner. You think he's not alone.
Okay. Okay, I will wait until the 2 ladies are finished with their conversation. Do I go check on this? Probably not. Or maybe let's say, we don't have we are not the ones where everybody has a comlink, right? No, we're not. Okay. So, yeah, maybe should check this out. I will move to another spot where I can maybe have a better vantage point and whatever Daggrin is planning, that I can have eyes on that.
Okay, so you are positioning yourself. Meanwhile, where are you? Yuno?
Oh, I'm going gift shopping. It's my sister's birthday's coming up. I mean, it's just going to go into that compartment, hence why all those wrapped boxes. But you know, she'll get those presents at some point, maybe someday.
So that's you're sort of on the Zuckuss, I suppose, the market. There's all sorts of bits and pieces you can find here. Most of it illegal in the parsecs around you, right? You can get some nice jewelry, but you're pretty sure that the gold with sapphire that big in it should not be being sold this cheaply. It's either a knockoff or very, very hot.
Yeah. I mean, she would not mind sending her sister something incredibly illegal. In fact, the more illegal, the better, probably. I think this time, you know, it's looking for like a nice kind of like, let's see, what would Arya like? She likes expensive stuff. Probably like a nice ring this year.
So, yes, I think there's a Deveronian who sells the jewelry. He's going, you like, because it's best price for you. It says authentic. It said authentic. Comes from the core world. I know, it's safe, it's good, finest quality. Stole it myself, I did.
Yes, well, core worlds equal dozen places. It can't just. It's not exactly a marker. It's not a good advertising pitch. Glad you managed to sell it yourself. I'm glad glad at least you're. It's kind of like almost kind of like pats the Deveronian in the on the hands. Glad you're able to take that initiative. But I don't know. It's pretty nice, I suppose.
Goes, we can do a good deal. I'll swap with you. We'll give you swap for credits, or you swap you for information. You could tell me what job you've done. What did you take? Maybe it's good. We can swap.
Oh. You're tempting me, Dave. How dare you? I think Yuno's like, no, that sounds like a fun price, but do you mind if I sample the goods first? And she kind of like has like a finger over like the ring.
Yeah, you sort of the ring is it is golden, and it is if you knew what those symbols meant, you possibly would be a little alarmed, but scratched inside it is the words, "May the force be with you."
I think like Yuno's eyes kind of glide over the letters. I think the main thing she wants is like she'll put it on, and she kind of is doing a thing where she's holding it up and she's trying to see if it's reflective enough that she can see behind her. Even around the symbols and the scratching.
So what are you trying? What are you trying to achieve here? Let me so I can point you towards.
Yeah, I think she is just trying to see if she's being followed. I think this is. She doesn't think she's being followed. It's just more like a casual sort of.
Then this will be a search then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 3 dice. Just for fun. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, that is a mighty dice. Okay, so I rolled a 4 on the force dice, so that's good. Yeah, that's a 16.
Then you do spot just in the corner of your eye, reflecting in the wind, your peripheral vision, you spot the GAN Findsman and their modified protocol droid. They're looking at a bounty puck, and you can just see that that's not even a great likeness of you. They haven't got your best side, but it is definitely you, Sunfell. That bounty puck.
They caught me while I was, stopping over to eat some cheesecake. It wasn't the best look. Okay, I kind of want this ring though, but I don't know if I'm. How much do I have to tell this to Veronian?
Well, let's figure out. We can roll for that when we come back. But let's go back to Quake and Cat. The two of you are, Quake. Yeah, you catch. You sort of just position yourself slightly. It looks like there are the people who they are with do seem to be mostly humanoid, armed, and they do seem to have a signature double blast in their hands. It looks like they are ready for trouble. If you wanted to roll streetwise against a 5 difficulty, you might find something out about double blasters and what that means.
Okay. I will roll streetwise against a 5. Maybe. Oh wow, I've got a 12 and it's a 6 on the destiny die.
You look at it, and that signature double barrel blaster is the calling card of the Black Sun Syndicate.
Oh.
They're a rival syndicate to
Mhm.
the Crimson Dawn, which is Qi'ra's syndicate. And yes, there is. If they are here, and you've got 2 of these factions in the same place, Black Sun doesn't normally come out this far. They don't, Osme doesn't like criminal syndicates, and he certainly doesn't like Black Sun because they're slavers and not his sort of people at all.
Mm.
The fact that they're here, someone must have given them the location.
And they're with that Ugnaught, right?
They are.
Okay.
They look like they're about to make a move, but as you passed your roll previously, and you got a 6 on it, you have got the drop on them. In fact, you've got the drop in such a way on them that you can see they're just behind a blast door. If you wanted to, you could shoot that blast door out and keep them on the other side.
That seems like a reasonable idea. I think I will attempt to do that.
Okay, so that's going to be, it's at short range, okay, but you're trying to use your blaster to shoot a small target, so you'll be looking for a difficulty of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I make the difficulty of 10. It's a 14, I think. Yes, cool. And 2 on the destiny die.
Grand. So no problem. Bouncing off the fact that we didn't really expend that 6 from your destiny dice, you have the drop on them. They don't even see the shot as you hit it, and the blast doors sort of slam shut. But Qi'ra and Kat, you are suddenly that blaster going off and the slamming of a blast door. You weren't expecting that. So your calm conversation with Qi'ra, she puts her hands onto her blaster and spins round with it drawn, and she goes, "What is this?"
Oh, there's Black Sun Syndicate over there. They were trying to make a move. I thought we might need a bit of time before they get in here.
Kat, anything you want to say or do?
Well, I was going to say you expecting company, and as obviously Quake answered that for us. Well, do you have a plan to get out of here? Wouldn't want you getting caught by them.
She looks at the package which she's just taken into her hands. She's got the credit chip, which you were probably about to explain. He said, "My plan to escape would have been that way back towards my shuttle. It seems that I've been cut off. How would you like to double your fee, Cat? Get me off this planet and get me to safety. I'll give you the coordinates, and I'll double your fee.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure. And especially in this case.
Says and looks then I think at looks at Cat, sorry, at Quake, and said you're very resourceful. He said when this is done, maybe you'd like to join my retinue. A good bodyguard is always hard to find.
I'm with the Unbound, so probably not, but I'll think about it maybe.
Okay. She looks to Cat and says, I assume that you're the brains of the operation. How are we getting out of here?
Well, I guess I need to try and see. It looks like we're going to have to take a little bit of the long way around at this point because and pick up our pilot on the way.
I'd suggest we get a move on though, because they won't stay there and look at the closed blast doors forever.
Yeah, you can already hear them. You can see sort of like them starting to try and pull them out. So we'll come back to your daring escape in a moment, and then we'll see. Let's see if Sunfell could also make a daring escape and wants to get some jewelry before they try it. So Deveronian is going, hey, you want it? It's good. And they have spotted you on the maybe not spotted you yet, because you spotted them, so you can maybe try and hide yourself if you want, but you think you've got a few seconds before they do catch up with you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to make myself somewhat less noticeable because I kind of want the ring. I'm wearing it right now, but I'm fair. Unlike other scoundrels in the galaxy, I'm not just gonna run off with this. I think like I'll kind of like bring the Deveronian closer and just say, "How's the schematic and means of getting in and out of Imperial Star Cruiser worth to you?" Imperial Carrier, sorry.
Said, wow, that's. He sort of says, he looks at the ring in your hand and goes, worth the ring, and the matching earrings. Yes, good deal. Rings and earrings. Well, certainly thinking about that, but I think you've probably got to bargain.
Yeah. Well, I just got a die. I just added a dice in bargain. So we'll see. Okay, just to be sure. Perception and bargain. So that's 4. That's okay. So I got a 6 on the destiny die. So, geez, that's a 20. I got 2 4s and 2 6s.
You think you've got a good piece of information. You're not going to accept the just the ring and the earrings. You want the necklace as well and the gift box.
Yeah, exactly. Like the custom gift box that they can be added in.
The full set the Deveronian gives you in exchange for. He goes, yes, that's very useful. I will take that information.
Yeah, and it's legit info. We just came from that place.
And did you say what did you say you got on the destiny dice? Sorry,
6.
6. So the Deveronian says, he says, I think they are looking for you. Come into the back. I will hide you. Let us finish our deal. Tell me everything over tea.
Oh, tea would be lovely. Do you have, and probably says like a vintage of tea, space chamomile? I don't know.
As you step past, we see Zuckuss and Forlorn go by. He's looking back and forth for you, going like, he goes, there's ships outside. Sunfell's got to be around here, but in Gand rather than common.
But yeah, I'm gonna step in, obviously, and
Yeah.
talk in the back.
Good. And that's just your exchange. There's no need to, but you, because of your 6 on your destiny dice, you deal with the other threat, which is behind you, as well as getting a good deal. The others, not so lucky. We pick up with you running, and you can hear blast bolts behind you. What's the plan, Cat and Quake?
Get out to the back, the restaurant.
Yeah, we didn't really know where Yuno is going other than to possibly meet up at the restaurant later. So,
So you're trying to make your way back to the broadside, which is the restaurant, bar, cantina area, or you're trying to make your way back to the stacked deck and the ship to try and get off this place?
I'm wondering if we might be able to send would the droid have been with you, or back on the stack deck?
I think I'm not sure. Probably someone has to look after the stack deck, I think. Or maybe like maybe I'd sent the droid ahead to wherever I'm meant to meet at the broadside, because I've got some shopping to do and I don't want to talk to you right now. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I don't want to just leave him there in the yacht.
Okay. So you see TC-15 trying to keep the table at his selective. You're going, no, Mistress Sunfell and her assistants will be coming soon. But you're gonna have to sort of get through the ship either. If you want to try and sneak your way through, fight your way through. What's your plan? Because they are actively looking for you. There are Black Sun agents on the ship.
My plan is always stealth first.
We could separate. Maybe I could draw them away from the two of you. And then you could sneak out, and then I could try to lose myself in the crowds on the broadside.
I had a lag, and you were ghosting on me there when you're speaking to me. So I don't know. It's possibly on my side, but could you say that again for me, please?
Of course. I said we could separate. I could try to draw them off, and you could then sneak our lovely employer out.
Sure.
Cat?
All right. If you're willing to do that, I didn't want to presume.
Well, I mean, I'll try to lose myself on the broadside. The broadside is basically the main thoroughfare, whatever the word is, the main thing where you wouldn't go in there guns blazing, right, David?
No, you wouldn't go in there gun blazing. You're going to get yourself kicked off the ship if you're going to do that. Equally, you think probably if they try. You went for a quiet location, the ship. If you can get yourself back to the main thoroughfare and to the broadside, you think that even the Black Sun wouldn't be foolhardy enough to shoot you straight.
Okay, so then I'll try to draw them after me and lose myself on the broadside later on.
Right.
That's the plan.
Cool. Okay, so Kat, if you're trying to sneak yourself and Qi'ra away, I think I need a stealth check from you. There's two of you, right? So I'm looking for a 15 plus, because this place has got busy. People are looking for people on this this ship.
All right. Let's see what we can get. So 1 on the destiny die. And a 24 total.
Okay. Do you want to describe how you give them the slip?
Cat will have studied some of the layout of this place as much as it changes from time to time. Would have taken through some of the maintenance shafts to get around them, and then once we get back close to the ship, I'm sure we probably have to run across a little bit of an open hangar bay.
Yeah. And I think as you're making your way across that hangar bay, you sort of turn a corner just to get into it, and that's where you sort of literally run straight into Zuckuss and Forlorn, knocking Zuckuss off his feet. Forlorn looks at you. It's a protocol droid. It has a very big blaster rifle on its back, and it puts its multifaceted eyes. We can see your face reflected in it as I cut the camera with a swipe towards Quake. What's your plan of attack, Quake?
My plan of attack is basically that I wait for Kat and Qi'ra to get away a little, and they're still at the front door, right?
Yeah. They've gone through. So they've made their way through the maintenance tunnel. So if you're splitting up for them, that roll was good enough that you've lost sight of them. Surely they're fine. They're out of the threat zone for sure.
Good. I will try to. I mean, do they have multiple entrances to this, like a side entrance or something? Because I don't really want to go out there guns blazing. That's
into the broadside, into the bar, or
yeah. We're in the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And they're the guys we don't want to say hi to. The enemy is at the front door, so I do not really want to go out the front door.
There's more than one entrance in and out. Yeah, there's a couple of
okay.
different entrances, and there's there's a couple of biotube chambers if you need to go and do your business, shut the door, no one's going to come in there surely. But you can see you can see the Ugnaught. He's with a Feline and a couple of masked looking humanoids, and they're sort of scanning the bar looking for you folks.
Yeah, what my plan was, I would take the side exit and try to circle around a bit, and then well, I'm not an actor, so I'll just shoot above their head or something, just so they notice me, and then I'll skedaddle away and lead them on a bit of a merry chase and hope that I don't get hit by any blasters.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, because you're not trying to hit them, that's not a problem. I'm going to try and ask you to do a deceive to see if they take your cunning ruse and follow you.
Oh, deceive is not one of the things I'm very good at. Oh, well, it's perception, dice. So I'm not that bad at it anyway. So how much do I
think I want a difficulty of 10 for this because they are looking for you. It's not going to be too difficult to draw them away.
Cool. Let's see how that goes. It's an 8 and I've got a 1 on the destiny die.
Okay.
I think I'll save the last character point for something else, right?
You sort of make your way around. You just put your shot in, and you start turning to run, and you run, turn around and see Daggrin is looking there, and he's got a wicked-looking heavy blaster pistol pointed straight at you, going, "Hey, where are you going?"
I thought I would go to the broadside. And is he alone, or I think the others are somewhere where I just shot at them, right?
Yeah, you shot, but the one on there says you're just about to try and run, and he has got the drop on you. So they are turning towards you. He's looking at you. You're going to have to either push your way past him, shoot him, try to disarm him. But if you want to make a break, you're going to have to deal with Daggrin.
Okay, then I think what I'll do is I have my own blaster pistol and it's out, and I'm looking at him and I say, "Do you really think you're faster than me?"
That's an intimidate.
That's an intimidate, yes. I mean, worked before, right? How much do I need?
You need a 10. Actually, no,
wow.
it has worked before. You're outnumbered, so yeah, 10. It's not an easy, so it's a 10.
Fine, fine, fine. Yeah, but I make it. It's an 11.
He looks at your blaster, looks at his blaster, he goes, yeah, and drops his blaster and sort of runs down a side corridor, allowing you to make a break and away. But they do put in a couple of shots behind you, and they're on your tail.
That was the plan, after all.
They're just too close to your tail for your liking, right?
Yeah. I'll run a little faster.
Okay. Let us go back to Sunfell. You're waving goodbye to the Deveronian, and that's, I think, the point where you note and see Quake run straight past you, followed by a feline, and their a female feline and their guard.
Gosh. Yeah, okay. So the inevitable breaking down of, of the plan has occurred. I think I'm going to follow, but not get noticed by whoever's like chasing Quake. So I'm gonna assume then that our rendezvous at the broadside is not gonna happen. Uh so I think I'll follow Quake. But try to like be behind the Daggrin and his lot.
So if you want to remain unseen, I'm going to ask you to roll stealth. They've not got that much of attention on you, but they might still see you, so your difficulty will be 5.
Okay. Nice. So roll the 13, but that's a 1 on the destiny die.
Okay. So you succeed, but the 1 on the destiny dice, I think, is that you sort of you're just on their tail, keeping yourself, but you'll suddenly notice that people on the space, the main deck and the Brooklyn Van are looking at you, and you know that look. That is a look of greed. That is a look of, if they were just able to get their hands on you, they could sell you for money. You feeling that your bounty is catching up with you.
That's not great. I guess I want to see first then where Quake is headed before I figure out what next to do.
Where are you taking them, Quake?
Yeah, broadside, basically, where they can shoot me.
Okay, so you're running through the market towards the broadside, and what we're going to need to do here is we're going to do a contested perception roll, which is fundamentally what we're looking at here. Because we're not quite into combat, but effectively it is the person with the highest perception roll will be acting first. If you win, I'm rolling 3 dice for this, then you're in a scenario where you're going to go you're going to be able to get to the broadside before they catch up with you. Ooh, I rolled
Okay.
I rolled a 14.
I did roll a 13. Damn.
You're almost there. You're just about to step in, and one of them knows they can't shoot you, but the feline that is close to you tries to place a vibro blade into your back, trying to silently take you out before you can get into the bar.
I mean, I'll try to not be stabbed.
I think that seems absolutely reasonable. Trying not to be stabbed, right? So this is going to be against my difficulty. I'm going to have to roll is going to be against. Are you going to dodge, parry, or block? Is going to be the question.
I think I'm trying to block.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and use my melee, which is the dexterity. 4, 7. That's an 8. So way lower than your block. So yeah, do you want to describe what it looks like? You see the blade coming.
I see the blade coming, and I basically it's a pretty simple maneuver where I just kind of block the knife thrust with one of my arms, and then they're in movement. You can't stab someone if they are not moving, so I'm going to throw them, just so they are not close to me with their stupid vibro knife.
Okay, so you're trying to throw them. That will be off your brawl then.
Okay. Roll. Strength, right?
Yeah, so brawl is off your strength. So you've got 4 dice there, and you're looking to get higher than a 10.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot more. It's a 17, and I've got a 6 on the destiny die.
Oh, cool. Well, just describe how it goes in your favor. Maybe you sort of like throw them into the other guys, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe I disarm them.
Yeah, you sort of grab the vibro blade with a snap as their wrist goes, and then throw them into the others. So you can have a free vibro blade.
Yeah,
as
I've got
well.
a vibro blade. That's nice.
The feline hisses at you as you step into the bar. No one is foolish enough to make a scene here in Broadside.
I salute them with a vibro knife, like.
You can hear Broadside going like, "Hey, Quake, put that knife away."
Sorry, sir. And I'm putting the knife away, of course.
The feline looks at you, their thick green brow, and sort of closes their eyes and says, "You're not going to get out of here. You might as well give yourselves up." Said, "We're not interested in you. We only want Qi'ra. Give her to us. You can go. It's not worth. You must have survived the Clone Wars. This ain't worth dying for."
I look at them and I say, "Who's Qi'ra?"
Speaking of which, let's cut to Kat, who is with Qi'ra, and now Zuckuss and Forlorn, two noted legendary bounty hunters. Zuckuss sort of is picking himself back up off the floor. Forlorn is looking at you and sort of says, "Hey, which way you going?"
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Next time, I'll be a little more perceptive. Just got a little out of sorts, trying to get to the ship.
He looks at the ship that you're trying to get to, and he says, "Do you know Yuno Sunfell?"
Sunfell. Seems like that was a familiar name. Don't they have a bounty?
He goes, and 4% of it is available as a finder's fee for information.
Well, the best information I can provide you is they're not on their ship.
Let's see how well they take your chance to finagle them with a deceive roll. I think these are skill trained bounty hunters. They're going towards the ship. You're in the open, and you've just knocked Zuckuss off his feet. So I'm going to charge you a 20 difficulty for this. But if you manage to make it, you're going to get them off your back.
All right. Oh, well, see how we do initially.
Yeah, remember you can add your character points afterwards, or you can use
Yeah.
your force points and double your dice if it came to it.
We're 2 on the destiny die,
Mm-hmm.
and all right, I'll have to spend 1 character point for 1. I
That's
got
still that's
19.
still a 20 though, right? That's really hard. So he looks at you and he says,
So that's 21.
he goes, you know, that Bothans always provide good information. He taps you and sort of puts his hands and pats you on the shoulder and said, if you see them, and you see the bounty puck come up, bounty on the bounty on Sunfell is for 5,000 credits. It is put on there, but look, you spot, in fact, with your 20, you spot Yuno's sister's name as the sponsor of the bounty. It's like alive. It is bringing alive.
Okay. So, all right.
But he goes, he said, you always provide such good information, your kind. If you see them, we'll
Well,
pay.
us guild have to stick together, right?
Nods and exits the scene. But you've given them the slip. Qi'ra sort of looks at you and says, well, aren't you the smooth talker?
Ah, I find it always the safest route to go if you can talk your way out of a situation. I'm sure you understand.
It says, maybe you should, it says, said she sort of looks at you and says, wait, we're not traveling on that ship with the wanted Sunfell, right?
Well, I thought that they might be guarding your ship.
Her ship is on the other side of the station, so she needed you're going to need it was on the lines of like, you're going to need to get her out of the ship. She looks at the stack deck and goes, this happens every time. It said, what is it with agents and spies and hanging around with troublesome smugglers?
Well, they're usually the ones willing to actually transport you.
She sighs and starts making her way towards the ship. Hey, it's coming up to 11 o'clock. Why don't we take a break there for 10 minutes? So come back about 5 past the hour, and then we will let's pick up with Yuno, because all eyes are on you. You feel kind of famous. You don't like it, I don't imagine. Do you?
It's disgusting, is what it is. Yeah, broadside. There's really only that one entrance, is there?
No, there's more than one entrance we set in because Quake asked that and we established that in the fiction. There's the main door, but there are some of the smaller doors. Yeah, it's sort of like the center of the ship, right? So there's only the one bar, but this is, I say, on the towards the top of the ship, one of the top decks where people come and go.
Yeah, God, I wish I had like a big cloak to hide myself in. Yeah, I think. I mean, there's many ways to play it, but like I think I do just want to take like a smaller entrance. Just get into the broadside as quickly as possible. There's no fuss, no big ploys, no just walk in with some confidence. And kind of like hoping that, a lot of people are kind of like, I got a lot of eyes on my back, but I'm hoping that because there's a lot of them, they're not all they're not going to coordinate with each other. I'm just gonna walk in.
So it's just sheer chutzpah, right, that you're using, which because of that definition, rather than you hiding and clinging to the shadows, I'm going to let you roll off deceive to see if people think that you are just you're that damn cool.
Yeah.
I think your difficulty's 10 because you are that damn cool, but money talks.
Yeah. I mean, if I was cautious, I would have changed my name and not parade a stolen yacht around. Right. That's a 13. 4 on the destiny die, so it's all good.
Yeah, you at one point there is there's a Rhodian. You think that he sort of weighs up whether or not to go for his blaster when he spots you. You can see that look going through his eyes, but you just managed to make eye contact, and he has that view of it's not worth it, not here. So
Yeah,
decided
I
that
think. Can I say that like I kind of like jerk my head towards, I don't know, there's probably like an Ithorian over there and his gang, and just say, get in line. And then I just walk past him.
Yeah, he managed to sort of just blag your way through and then enter into Broadside. I think you arrived just a few moments after Quake. As you enter, though, TC 15 waves her arms, go over here, master, I have a table for you, master.
Yeah. No need.
Yeah,
No
Master
need to...
Master Sunfell, Master Yuno Sunfell, and you can see everyone looks over at the droid, looks at you, looks at the information, and you can see eyes.
Just usual scum business. Go back to your drinks. Go back to your meals. I say as I kind of take a seat on the table. We're gonna have to talk, TC, about quote unquote protocol. Not that kind of protocol. This kind of protocol.
Have I done something wrong? Is it master or mistress? How would you prefer they addressed you? Or not that a master or mistress? Or I think you'll go for master. Then go. Have I done something wrong, Master Sunfell? I am so sorry. Would you like to me to shut down now?
No. Turn you back on. No. We just look. We're kind of new to each other. It's just we've not had time to lay down, basics of how this is gonna work out. Next time, unless I've called for it, discretion is preferable to yelling my name out in a crowded public place.
I understand.
I hope you do.
The good news is Quake definitely knows where you are. But the two of you are together. Kat, were you taking Qi'ra here as well? Sorry, Quake?
1 second.
Yeah?
I would like to be alone for a bit so that Andor can make contact. So I'm not immediately walking over to Yuno.
Okay, understood. Kat, were you heading to the ship or were you heading to Broadside?
I was heading to the ship to secure Qi'ra.
Cool.
That's
okay. So
I know the other two will be able to make their way back.
As soon as you get onto the ship, Qi'ra heads straight for the bridge, and she looks like she's starting to fire up the systems and start looking at what the ship can do. She says, "I'm sure your friends won't mind if we take this ship. Yeah, we'll return it to them shortly, but I'm going to get us out of here."
Can we give them a few minutes to make their way here? I'm sure they're not far behind.
Said that you're traveling with Yuno Sunfell. Zuckuss and Forlarm are looking for them. I don't need that sort of heat. You'll have to convince her with a command if you would like to not leave.
All right.
Your difficulty
Give it a
will
shot.
be 15.
So it's not something I'm. Oh,
You got
not
5
bad.
dice.
Yeah.
Your perception is
More
super
than I was
high, so
expecting.
you're good with people.
Yeah. More than I was expecting. Ooh. That's a 15.
15 is what you needed. So
Yeah, four on the destiny die.
that's fine. Only the one of the 6 matches there, but it said that total. She looks at you and says, "Fine, Fernie. We'll give them a little time." He said, "Have you got a way of getting in contact with them?"
Would the protocol droid have any communication stuff in them?
I'm happy to say the protocol droid has a comm link.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
All right. So I will comlink into TC
Mm-hmm.
and let TC know that have the ship ready to go and their master needs to be on it as soon as possible.
Okay. We will pass that message.
And their master is in danger.
Do you know that probably the worst thing you could tell an overprotective protocol droid was that? But we'll deal with that in a moment. But Quake, you were trying to find Cassian Andor. All this confusion in the bar. Andor has definitely sort of just he's put his hand in his head and has gone back to his drink and is sort of ignoring ignoring all of this craziness.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Are there a lot of eyes on me because I don't want to expose them to stuff?
No, they're all
Okay.
on. They're all on Sunfell.
Okay, fine. That's good. So I'll walk over and I will stand to attention because that I think is subconscious. I will say I've dropped the data link on the ship.
Said, I know. Well done. Say your that ship and those power cells on it are going to help the rebellion.
Yeah,
Greatly.
but you wanted to tell me something in return, remember?
He goes, yeah. You want to know where your armor is?
Yeah.
Where was the last time you saw your armor, Quake? Who had it, and how did you end up losing it?
I ended up losing it by getting into some sort of problem with a weakway. I mean, we were on the same side basically, and we got out, but only barely because the weakway's cousin, the famous pirate Hondo Anaka, rescued us. And then the famous pirate said, "Hey, you know what? I'll keep you this armor, and you will have to pay me for all this trouble." And I said, "Hey, that was your cousin that got me into this trouble." And he said, "Yeah, but I can't get money from him, but I can get money from you." So it was not entirely fair, the whole thing. But yeah, and and then he flew off with his ship to wherever he flew off to and said I should contact him on maybe here, even if I had the money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot more than I can afford right now.
Says, yeah, your armor. Quay got into a little bit of sabak debt, and as
No.
has sold it on.
Who has it now?
It says, have you ever heard of Jabba the Hutt?
Who hasn't?
It says he's using it as a musical instrument in his palace.
Okay, that's not what it's there for. Okay, thank you. I'll figure it out.
Says you did good. Perhaps we can help you get it. I've got agents on Tatooine. You're running with some interesting characters, Quake. If you feed me some intel ongoing, I'll scratch your back. I'll see if we can get that armor out for you.
Yeah, I'll try to see what I can do, but I'm running with them right now, and I'm not going to stab them in the back. Not even for the rebellion. Also, if this is a personal thing, I mean, you might just say so.
What do you mean, a personal thing?
You mentioned that you had a relationship with Captain Sunfell.
It said Sunfell and I, we go back. But you're in the middle of something. The Black Sun and the Crimson Dawn Crimson Dawn has made a move into their operations. Whatever you are carrying, he says, it is for someone high up in the Crimson Dawn. Must be if Qi'ra's involved, right?
Probably.
It says I would be careful. And I said, if you can tell us what's going on, if you can tell us who's running Crimson Dawn, that will be very, very valuable to the rebellion. I said, I don't like either of them, but at least Crimson Dawn aren't slavers.
Fair point. Yeah. Okay, I'll see what I can do. And then I will move off and rejoin Yuno, because I think that it's really easy to find her right now.
Yeah.
Hi, Yuno. Oh, let's say hi, hello, Captain Sunfell.
Hi, Quake. Is like flicking a fork. Just kind of looking really annoyed. Hey, Quake. I don't suppose you have any incredibly good news that could brighten up my day, or ours, really.
Well, we were not shot or captured by Black Sun.
That's relative, I suppose, and that might change in the next couple of minutes, seconds.
No, I don't think so. But we should get back to the ship, maybe. I don't know. Cat cut off with a passenger, and I imagine that they're raring to go.
Oh yes, they're already on the ship. I got word from waves the fork at TC's direction.
The exchange between yourself and TC, who is terribly telling you in danger, we must leave immediately, is TC is undoubtedly sulking.
Quake, do you think we have any time for subtleties, or should we just go?
If you have a subtlety in mind.
Not really, especially after throws a look at TC. After that display,
We could still go with divide and sneak off.
do you really think we can sneak off the three of us?
No, that's why I said divide. And I'm looking at the droid.
What have you got in mind for a protocol droid friend?
I mean, he is good at attracting attention. He showed that, didn't he?
TC.
Yes, Master Sunfell.
why don't you go on ahead? Go on ahead to the ship, and because, quite frankly, TC, how good are you in a chase?
Said, not so good, Master Sunfell.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think. Cause like I don't want to get TC shot. I love this dude. Well, there's probably going to be a chase. So, and right now, people here wouldn't care much about you since they know where I am. So why don't you go on ahead of us to the ship? Meet up with Felani and just give them our best reassurance that we'll be with them soon.
Absolutely, Master. And it gets up and starts tootling away.
I don't know if that's going to attract enough attention.
Probably not, but I'm getting fond of him. So tough things start getting fond of people.
Well, in that case, we should maybe just make a break for it. I think we just threw subtlety out of the window.
I'm done with subtlety. Let's just go.
Should we just go and wait for the blaster fire to start, or should we get up running?
Well, the thing is, they're not going to start firing in here. It's a lovely establishment. We're just gonna let's just walk up to that entrance. Points to the one with the least people. There's still people there, and I'll meet you at the stacked deck.
Also, we're separating.
Do you want separate?
No, not particularly.
Okay. Well, if anything were to happen, I'll meet you at the stacked deck.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we'll take her drink, down it in one go, put it down. Just kind of stand up. She still has the gift box, I guess. Yeah. I think Quake would notice the very nice gift box that's under Yuno's arm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk up to an entrance, see who's waiting for us.
I think let's just pretend that everything is normal. Do the small talk thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's on you. You're the one who's good with small talk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think just talking about how every year my sister just gets harder and harder to buy for her birthday. There's only so much tiny potted plants that she asks for, and she'll fail to look after. Your heart just breaks every time you have to buy one. You don't happen to have any siblings that you have to buy presents for, do you?
I have about 250,000 brothers, so no, I don't have to buy presents for all of them.
Well,
that's just the ones that are the same age as me.
So,
no.
Oh, that's true. That wouldn't help me how that works. Just continue to banter. Okay. What's waiting for us at the exit?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of ways you can do it, right? You could try and sneak out. You can try and talk your way out. You can try and shoot your way out. But they've had enough time to sort of surround these guards. But you're pretty sure you sort of look out there. You can sort of spot some of those hooded figures. There is black sun all over the place.
I mean, I'm going to run.
I'm trying to intimidate my way out.
Okay. Okay.
God.
Well, yeah, they're not after you. So
They might be right. At this point, they might be.
Hey, so let's see Quake's intimidate to begin with, right? You're gonna go against a difficulty of 10. If you do well, I'm gonna consider that to be assisting Sunfell because their eyes are on you.
Okay. So intimidate away. Okay, it's 15.
The you sort of scan around and choose your exit wisely, making your way out to the one that there is a human guard there, but there is also with him is Daggrin. The minute that Daggrin sees you approaching, it squeaks and just runs off. It's had enough of being threatened to be shot by you, Quake, and is having none of it.
I didn't even hurt him.
Just sort of, it's like going, it's that clone, and is away. Yuno, how are you going to try and get out of here?
yeah, I think I'll just like she sees Quake kind of intimidate the heck out of them, and Daggrin just runs off. Kind of gives Quake like a bit of a cocky smirk and just says like race, yeah. I'm just gonna start running.
Okay, the race is on.
Cool. So to not be spotted and have someone on your tail, I'm going to ask you to roll a stealth against a difficulty of 10, Sunfell.
Okay. You threatened to shoot Daggrin enough times, you're gonna have to do it at some point. Ever see him again?
It's like Chekhov's Daggrin. Chekhov's Ugnaught at some point, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, let me do the maths. That is a 13, but I got a 6 on the Destiny die.
Do you want to describe how you managed not only to slip the tail on you, but to outwit Zuckuss and Forlorn as well?
Yeah, it is. I think it's a long and fanciful and epic tale that's best told in drinks, and it's one that it's just gonna take so long. The many tricks and swerves that Sunfell pulls in this encounter. It's just it deserves a no, she's just really quick. I think specifically for Zuckuss and for Lom, I think because I'm imagining running through the corridors of this starport. It's probably is running, but like it's probably not as fanciful as she'll later tell this story. It doesn't involve ducking through the market again, and maybe no, it was just like a quick run. But later she'll embellish it, being like, oh, I had to go into the market, I had to pawn off this earring that I want to sell to my beautiful sister. I had to pawn to get like a change of wardrobe, to get like a hood and a cloak and whatnot. But in actuality, it was just a very brisk jog.
Excellent. So you slip them, you're back at the ship. You can see that someone's powered up the stat deck, all of its pre-flights. You just, that hum knows that it's ready. It's like no, who switched your ship on? Who's got the authority to do that? How you feel about that?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of walk in. I think I kind of nod to Kat and TC, and just kind of like, oh, already raring to go. Good. That's nice to know. We're prepared to get on the jump.
I think Quake arrives slightly later. Qi'ra just sort of smiles. It's a smile which.
Hey! It was a race, right? I would like to arrive.
Oh wow!
I would like to have a chance to arrive before.
It was a race. Sorry, you are correct. So let's position that in fiction. I think. What did you roll for your sneak, Glenda? You still got your total there. It was 14.
It's 13.
13. So you're not necessarily trying to be so sneaky. So I think athletics would be more than suitable for this for you, Quake.
Okay. And I roll athletics and try to be the 13. Which I don't. I have a 12. So I'm a bit later.
Yeah. So you arrive just a little bit later. And I say Qi'ra sort of lets out the conversation just been ongoing, but Qi'ra sort of lets out a smile, which you're not sure if it would butter wouldn't melt with her in her mouth or your blood should go cold, but she smiles and says, "Oh, we would never have left without you, Captain Sunfell. I was just keeping your seat warm."
Right. Well, seeing as I suppose we have you as our passenger, Miss Qi'ra, any preferences on where to go?
She sort of pulls out a set of coordinates and says, "Yeah, I've got somewhere I need us to go." Says, "I have my patron would like to meet you." We said we're heading to Malacor.
Do you know? It's just like, okay, right, that sounds cool. To meet.
If anyone wants to roll a knowledge of planets against, well, the more high you roll, I will tell you more stuff about Malacor.
I won't. I think just shrug, and wants to get out of this place as soon as possible. So she'll just get on the seat and start inputting coordinates.
I mean, I would like to roll.
Yeah.
I don't think I will roll pretty well because it's not my area of expertise at all, but couldn't hurt.
I wouldn't mind rolling too. So.
Rolling, folks. But Kat, when the word is even said, Malacor, you sort of feel it sends a chill down your back. It was one of those bad feeling moments you have.
Wow, great.
I have a 7 and with a 1 on the destiny die.
Yeah, you on a 7. All you remember from your Clone Wars training that Malacor was one of the places that was forbidden for clone troopers to set foot on.
I got an 11.
Wow.
You've heard bad stories in the past, Kat, about folks who wanted to head to scavengers and archaeologists who have gone to Malacor to try and find things because there was apparently an ancient civilization there, and people are crazy for that stuff. Lots of people never come back, and some people who have come back are the sort of people who tell ghost stories in cantinas on rim worlds and warn people never to go there.
Wonderful. I'll look over at Qi'ra and say, "Are you sure those are the coordinates?"
Says 100%.
Okay.
This is the point where TC-15 starts waddling their way up the gangway of the ship. Going, says, "I have slipped my trail, Master Sunfell."
And I turn to Yuno and say, "Well, at least I beat the droid."
you sort of see the sun. He's sort of coming up the ramp, and then you see the Black Sun enforcers running onto the up the entry, I suppose, corridor to the ship, because your ship's docked on the outside by a docking port. But you can see them running towards you. It goes, "Oh, I have failed to slip my trail, Master Sunfell."
Could you compensate by maybe strolling just a bit faster?
Yeah,
I think you should.
Yeah, you sort of steps through the docking port. Sorry, Terry, I didn't mean to cut you off then. What's Cat
I
doing?
was just gonna say, I think you should take off now.
Taking. As I'm punching stuff, doing cockpit stuff.
You haven't said you're waiting to say. So this is flight control. We're just waiting to give you flight clearance, and you can sort of see the lights flashing in the ship going like Osmo Starport is, you can feel that creak in it as if it's ready to jump up and out into hyperspace as well. It's about to locate. You're going to need to disconnect and pilot away from here in a split second, but you've got a chance to do it before the ship jumps away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So that's a pilot for you, but do remember to add the mobility of the stack deck, which is an additional 3 dice.
That is so much dice. Double check. Mechanical is 3. I got a pilot of 1, so that's 4, 6, 7. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, I got a 6 on the Destiny die. So that's good. I add this all up. God, I have to add this up. Let's see. 12, 22, 28.
Yeah, not at all a problem. So on the 6 on the Destiny dice, as I say, you press the button that slams the airlock shut. The ship is your stat deck literally pulls away and swoops down as Osmo Starport blinks away into hyperspace. You are free in its slipstream, and whoever is challenging you, traveling you, will be now off to another random jump point, giving you time to slip your tails. You are away.
Yeah. I think like as soon as like we're away, it's just kind of like slumps in the cockpit, and immediately falls asleep.
Nice flying.
TC-15 tucks Yuno Sunfell up with a nice little blanket. There, Master Sunfell. You had a busy day. Why don't you rest now? Shh, says TC-15.
Look over at Qi'ra and say, "Would you like a drink?"
Said, "I would love a drink." Said, "You're a merry little band, all of you."
We work well together. And I may not have, unfortunately, I may not have a drink that's as up to what you're normally used to, but I'll give you our finest stock.
Said, "Don't worry, though I have a taste for the finer things, anything stiff that tastes of alcohol will do right now." She sort of takes the drink and then looks at the package on the table on the in front of her and says, "Did you open it?" Do you know what's inside it?
No, did not open it. It didn't feel right though.
Sort of looks at you and says, "In what way?"
Just have a bad feeling about it.
She takes a mouthful of the drink and says, "You're a sensitive soul, aren't you? Unusual for bottoms."
Yes. So not exactly what most of us would adhere to, but it's got me by.
Okay. Again, do any of the players want to have scenes or chances to communicate with each other whilst we are in hyperspace? Or if not, maybe you can give us a little vignette for how you take this journey, because it's quite a long way. You've got to head quite out into the outer rim. It's going to take you a good day or so of travel.
I would like to catch Cat, maybe,
Okay.
just to ask a few questions.
All right.
Hey, do you know anything about Malacor?
I know it's not a good place.
I
Got a
figured
bad
that.
feeling about this.
Not the only one. Do you know what we're doing here? I mean, really? Or we just
Oh, hopefully we're getting paid.
yeah, that does well, but I wonder.
Yeah. Well, this is where our employer at the moment would like to go.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get the job done without any more people coming after our fine pilot, which they like to have a conversation about with them when they wake up, because this particular bounty was actually from their sister.
From Yuno's sister.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good news is they do want Yuno alive.
Well, and they've hired Black Sun to do that. Or did they hire bounty hunters?
I think the Black Sun worked for Qi'ra.
Okay, good. I can deal with bounty hunters.
And any other things you would like to know?
Yeah, I used to be someone who was just following orders, not asking questions, but that didn't go so well for me, so I'm trying to not do that anymore.
No problem. Would you like a drink?
I'm not on the job right now, so yeah.
Or one for Quake. Good. So, Qi'ra, do you have any stories you'd like to embark for Quake and I while our pilot sleeps?
She smiles and says, "I prefer to be an enigmatic soul." I said, "Malacor should be a pit stop." But you proved yourself, and I'm not at all happy that the Black Sun are in my business. Once we've completed this mission, I'd like you to find out who my mole is. I'd like you to figure out why the Black Sun are on my tail. And if you're happy to do that with me, I'll pay you the same again.
Yeah. The Black Sun is a nasty group. And if in any other situation, I might ask for a bit of an increase. But given the fact that they're slavers, I don't have a problem doing it.
Said, wonderful. Said, and as a, as I say, how do you think they managed to find you? Who was that Ugnaught? What's going on with him?
Well, he was the original owner of the droid.
Yes.
And
He bored TC.
I said the protocol droid belonged to the Ugnaught.
used to. Lost him in a Sabak game.
You've checked it for surveillance software, bugs, that sort of stuff, right?
I'm looking at Cat.
Oh.
I just gave it a paint job.
We did give it a look over, but didn't really think that about the fact that it formerly being Calrissians, that it would not have already been checked for that.
Yeah, I think when you say that name, her eyes narrow and says, "Whose droid was it?"
Lando's.
Okay. You awaken to a heated conversation where Qi'ra is trying to push TC-15 into an escape pod.
Whoa, Miss Qi'ra, what's
Oh, she's got a
the meaning of
C name.
this?
Yeah, but she's sort of going like, said, said, not only have you not checked it for bugs, this droid belonged to Calrissian. Says, I'm chucking it out of an airlock. I'll pay you for a new droid. Top of the line model, not defective like this one.
Oh.
I think I kind of like shoot a look at the other two. It's just, we all due respect, ma'am. You are, let's see. Sorry, I'm groggy as well. I'm as groggy as Yuno is right now. Money sounds good, but with all due respect, ma'am, as much as you're an uppity up in some organization, you don't have a say on what to do with other people's property. If you kindly unhand protocol droid, sit back down, then everything should be okay.
Says, I have a say if you want to get paid, flyboy or fly girl rather than flyboy. Don't worry about me, says TC-15. I'm an inferior model. It'd be far better for you to have a superior model, Master Sunfell. I would do anything for you. Being pushed out of an airlock is absolutely fine.
Well, the thing is, that's not what I want for you to do. So, could you flip that and fight for your own autonomy, TC? As for you, ma'am, we are doing what you have contracted by colleague here. We have retrieved your package and we are escorting you to your preferred place of destination. I'm flattered, and I'm not flattered. I'm flattered that you will be able to pay for the donation of this droid, but I will simply have to reject that offer. And well, honestly, ma'am, if you do choose, because of that, if you choose to renege on all our on our previous dealings, then, well, there could be consequences for that.
Fine, she says. But I said, before you do any more work for me, I'm going to have this thing checked for bugs, for surveillance, for extra hidden software running inside it. I said, I assume that your lackadaisical, happy-go-lucky, adventuring lifestyle, Captain Sunfell, has not accounted for such things.
Like shrugs. Well, I wouldn't call these adventures lackadaisical, but, well, that's your prerogative, madam. Is there anything else you require?
She sort of sits back down and picks back up her drink and looks at the droid.
Sorry, I didn't know you and Londo had a history.
Said, just a little. But she's cagey. The ship comes out of jump hyperspace above the red, dusty, ruinous wreck of a world that is Malacor. I'd like you to roll on your force dice for me, please, Kat, and tell me if you get a 1 or a 6.
Nope, a 3.
You still get the feeling that this is a dangerous place. The voices in the box ask you even more. You should open it. Don't give it to him. We are for you.
That may be true.
The
I
ship
just
sort of
whisper that to myself under my breath.
the ship makes its way down into the rocky, ruinous mountains. There is something which looks like it is a temple cut out of the stone, and the craft makes its way down and lands on the dusty homeworld of the Sith. Or one of them, depending on your point of view. But still, coming out of the darkness of the temple to meet you is a dark hooded figure with red and black skin.
I think
Okay.
yeah. It's just kind of like hanging back, and it's kind of like almost gesturing to like Qi'ra to be like, well, this is your show. I'm just here to drop you off.
Quake is really missing his armor right now.
Oh, this is an unexpected surprise.
We're probably a bit ahead of where I wanted to get to today, but I think it probably feels like if everyone's okay, a good stop point. So I think you and Malacor meeting the head of Crimson Dawn.
Nobody we know, clearly. Yeah,
Exactly.
Part 3 we can deal with next week if that's okay. So if we're all right on that, I'm gonna award everyone 5 adventure points, character points, for your shenanigans this morning. And the fact that you've come to Malacor is all Terry's fault for putting one dice in his force stat, right? He's force sensitive. So he's got to have a temptation with the dark side.
Thank
Oh.
you, Terry. I love it.
You're welcome.
Something dark side.
Uh-huh. Interesting to see what happens.
Exactly. So shall we do some stars and wishes to shut out the session a little bit early today, but we will go through that cooldown. I'm gonna ask Terry to give us some stars.
Well, love the way you're progressing the story. The storylines, with the different characters. Yeah, even with you being groggy this a little bit for, love the Yuno's relationship coming out with their sister a lot more. It's going to be, I want to explore that as well. And it was good to see Quake getting a voice.
Awesome. Leandro?
Yeah, I think stars has to go to everyone for just kind of like again, my go-to star is always like when everyone like helps like keep the tone together. I do love this like the slapdash swashbuckling serial feel with of just all these kind of shady people in this like spaceport just running around. I I love that while folks are just running around and to try getting shenanigans, like Cat and Cat getting all the intrigue with Qi'ra and just immediately just like poking around the yacht as well was lovely. Love gruff Quake and just talk at the start about just what clones are like, and also Sabine, thanks for helping with that timeline. Dave, you can rewatch where we spent 5 minutes talking about ages and like, wait, no, it'll be this age. What time are we in?
We're young Han Solo time, so we're probably we are before A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we figured it was about 5 years before New Hope. That's what we went with.
Yeah, it's fine with me. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. Also, start to Dave for keeping it all together. Some great some great going with the dice. I didn't expect to have tea with that Deveronian to get all that stuff in the gift box. I love, I love like building up the situation of all these people. This like, this world, because like Star Wars is in no way a coherent world, but it's a world built out of like aesthetics and a certain kind of feeling, a certain kind of story. It's not world. It's not like a lived. Well, okay, it's kind of a lived-in world, but that comes from the feeling. I think Dave, you're really getting that feeling across. Star Wars has a vibe, and you're bringing out that vibe really well.
Neat. How about you, Sabine? Any stars?
Yeah, lots of stars. I mean, it's Star Wars, isn't it? Okay, my puns keep getting worse, but I stopped apologizing. Stars to everyone. Stars to Terry and Kat for poking around when nothing was happening and for trying to wheel and deal everything. I think you should have done more bargaining with Qi'ra when she was in a tight spot, but well, we'll see. And I also love that she was like, you know what, I should charge you more, but Black Sun, I don't like slavers. I like that. I like the feeling that Kat definitely has lines that she won't cross because they're evil. Yeah, and also I loved you with that little box and the voices from there. I wonder where that goes. I love the talk we had at the beginning of the session about siblings and stuff, basically. And I also love the way that you were looking for a birthday present for your sister who's sick bounty hunters on you. Well, okay, maybe you can give the birthday present to the bounty hunters. And to you, David, for making this such a real and exciting place. That station is really, really fun, and I love that we got to meet so many of the Star Wars characters we knew from the films and the series and stuff like that. Like, oh my God, now we're going to meet Darth Maul. Hey, my fangirl heart is singing. So yeah,
got to do the fan service, right? That's the plan. Cool. Any wishes that people have? Let's go in reverse order. Sabine, would you like to give me any wishes?
I am rather fine with where we're at. I'm rather fine with where the story is going. I love all the entanglements we're getting into. So no, I am very happy to see where this is going.
Your previous wish was about getting your armor back. Do you still want to progress that story?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to necessarily, but yeah, leaning into that was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, now I want to go to Tatooine at one point, but
Awesome. Well, I'm not going to foreshadow it, and I'll give you a chance to go to Jabba's palace, right? Let's have a dance party. Leandro, any wishes?
I was gonna say that, like, if Quake doesn't get to Jabba's palace in this run, well, this is Star Wars Saturday, so there might be other chances in the future. Yeah, do I have any wishes? I think I might want to carry over the wish last time because we're still hinting at whatever the heck. Then again, Yuno's had a lot of like hinting at backstory, so I think I'm fine on that front for the moment. Okay. Also, just full disclosure, Yuno's sister is another PC of mine from another previous Star Wars Saturdays game, but that doesn't mean you can't do whatever you want with.
Which one?
She showed up in a apocalypse world Tatooine setting, like post Jedi. So way back. At that point, she had like quit the Empire. But this is like pre that, so anything goes.
I have an intention to bring her in as an Imperial officer on a ship that's on your tail. Is that okay with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if like I don't mind even if she dies, because then it could be like, oh, it's legends, some tales are told one way, some tales are told another way. I do want to see her. Okay, I think that's my wish. Just like putting that out there.
All righty. And Terry, any wishes from you?
Oh, not really. I like where things are going right now. I think I covered kind of wishes I did have last week, and you're definitely fulfilling the more interactions with Qi'ra. So that was one of the main ones I had. And we're starting to explore the interactions with the crew and between the characters, which is really good. And that's the other direction I wanted to go. So.
Awesome. So that means that we will pick up then next week on Malacor, where you can have high tea with Darth Maul, who's lovely and will not tell you that they are a Sith, but may recognize something in Cat.
And he will totally recognize that I'm a clone because he knows clones.
Oh yeah, totally going to recognize that. But if anyone's out there, thank you for watching. We will see you in part 3 of our Scoundrels arc next